Um, Today is the 4th June 2012 and we are on the final days of the retreat. Today we will talk about how you can be your own doctor. You can examine your body by the principle of reflexology. So we can use some points, some meridians to check to see any problem happen inside our body. Also, it has some happen outside. So if we can examine it on a daily basis or every other day, minimum one per week, you can discover, you can find out the underlying problem quicker and we can solve the problem faster. So it not accumulate until it becomes a severe problem. So we need to have a doctor or the hospital taking care of that. As you see, usually before exercise, before do the Qigong or Tai Chi, whenever I feel cold, tired, I usually rub my palm together, right? And after that to the tip of the 10 finger. So you see here, all the internal organs. We have the liver, we have the heart, and a renal gland, we have the spleen, we have stomach, we have the energy complex at the solar plexus. So all of the major organs, the cells, the nature already keep it in a very secret, very safe place in here. So in our hand, the same you will see in our feet, in our head, same when it reflects on that, it has to be protected in a very safe place. While all the major organs, it not reflect on outside here, on the trunk or on the tip of the finger, but it has to be protected inside our palm. See? So that is the arrangement of the nature to protect our body, especially the major organs. So when we rub it, we will create the energy, we will create the pressure. So from external, it will penetrate into internal. And also, you know that this is some what we call the control center. From the headquarters, it will send out through the 7 chakra. That is energy. But and then it also sends to some control center and on our palm, our feet, our face, in our ear. We will study that one by one. But all the major organs all the way be protected inside that. So when we rub that means we give the signal, we give the energy, and we give the stimulus to stimulate the transmission of the electron on the way, the energy to the organ. So and then the heart beat faster, the spleen produce more blood, and the liver produce more enzyme. And all the major organs that will function harmony and all together, it creates the force energy to put internally out. First, it will spread out energy to nourish our body. Secondly, it creates the pressure to unblock any channel be blocked. And also by that way, internally out, it will push out all the obstruction, all the obstacle along the muscle or the skin by the invasion of the foreigner. So after we rub our palm together and we go out to the tip of our finger, and you see the tip of our finger, it represents for on the sinus and the brain. So it's not only on the sinus, that's the side where our body contact with the outside environment. So that's also the gate, and if we send the message out there in advance or regularly, that means we have the security guard all the way be reminded, be supported. And that if the gatekeeper do a good job, okay, we can prevent whatever unexpected, unwanted out. And we just let anything we want filter or any good thing in. At the same time, when we do that, we then send out a signal to our brain to always regulate every activity harmoniously. So after we rub our palm together on the tip of the finger, it also, you see, the tip of the thumb, we will stimulate the pituitary gland, and this one in conjunction with the pineal gland will regulate all of the activity in the hormone system, and from that it will regulate all of the major organs in our body through the channel we always learn through 7 chakras. So that is the first thing we need to do in the morning when we first wake up. When we first wake up, automatically or by the sound of the alarm. But after you practice for a while with the mindfulness, you're training your mind good enough, this alarm will be more accurate than this alarm. Alright? And it's all the way in advance. You don't need to have an alarm just with the backup on there. And then also, when you train your mind, your body in a good mindfulness practice, your body can adapt to any environment, any situation in a click, just in a second. Alright? So early in the morning when we first wake up, we say now we just accept to let a very positive thought arrive. We have a brand new 24 hours, and we smile. We wish everybody have a good energy, a new day, happy, and we vow to live fully with love and kindness and compassion, and share with everyone the time and resource. And then we rub our palm together, the tip of finger together, and then we massage our nose, our face, our forehead, and the head, the neck, only about 5 minutes. 5 minutes, and then you can start to sit up. Alright? Especially for the elderly people. If we not prepare that, when you hear the alarm, you sit up right away. It has many mechanisms. Okay, it causes a lot of problems. Think about we are in the relaxation state, right? On the muscle, blood pressure, the nerve are in totally relaxed, and on sudden we respond to that contract, right? Just when we respond too quick by that, the nerve will contract and will tie the blood pressure, tie the muscle, so blood cannot flow to the brain. So if you're lazy, if you just sit up, you not stand up right. Well, if you stand up, it's more dangerous. And then also when we sit up too quick like that, it will tie on the blood pressure, and the blood from the heart cannot pump it out, cannot come back in. So we have a palpitation and we have a muscle spasm or twitching. It is called fall or drop of blood pressure and damage the brain, etc. So make sure we have to massage that, prepare that, and relax, and slowly, mindfully sit up. So after we sit up, we can start, okay, to massage down our arm, our chest again, to put out more energy, and we start. When we sit up, the blood already prepared on the top, and now okay, start to go down to the thigh and the feet, so you can stand up. And after that, we go to the toilet. We urination, and if we can have a bowel movement, but not usually at the same time. And then we can go to the what our face. Before we got our face, okay, we have to do the exam, look at that to see how our reflection, any new star coming out, any new pinpoint, any pain area, any change color in our face, our forehead. Why we need to do that? Later on we will see many different reflections on our face. So, and then that we finish, right? And then whenever we get outside, before we do any exercise, whenever we feel tired in the office, you can do that. Nobody knows what they are doing. But after this is a way to stimulate our internal organ, to send out more energy and clear up any obstruction occurring during the time under stress and the pressure, and it blocks the flow of energy. So only very simple, right? If you can practice in a few days to a week, you can do it 2, 3, 4 times a day, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. After a week, you will see it improve right away. It makes you feel more refreshed, more energy, more awake, more alert, and feel more flexible. Alright, and secondly, after we finish that one, we will go to face. You see, on our face, it has many different reflection systems. First, it can reflect the whole body on our face. You see, this is our forehead, right? And this is eyebrow, this is the nose, this is the cheek, this is the upper lip, lower lip. So on the forehead, we have the small head and the big head. It can represent for the yin and yang, men and women. And then the eyebrow, the tip of eyebrow, that's the shoulder. And on the eyebrow, that is 2 arms. And outside the temporal, that is our hand. And the trunk, the buttstock, the thigh. And out here, that is the knee. Or down here, that is the heel. And also, this is our hand. So this is one system of reflection, not only external, but internally too. So that means when you have a shoulder pain or stiffness, okay, we can, if our shoulder flexible enough, okay, we do the exercise like that, right? But if not, some people, okay, they cannot move it to the back, up here maximum. Okay, now, so we massage here. And you will see it have a kind of bump here. It's very stiff here. It's pain when we grab it. Whenever we have a painful experience, that means energy we block. Right? So we just massage slowly, and then okay, it will disappear that one. That means when energy is spread out evenly, and then okay, the painful spot disappear. And if this spot disappear, that means okay, it will relax back here. For example, if we have a back pain and we cannot put our hand back in here, okay, so you can massage rub our nose, and we can find out some painful spot on that. We have a problem with the top row. We can massage it right here, right? But we can massage right in the area of the eyebrow and between the eyes. So it has many different places we can stimulate. to clear or to heal, to treat the condition. So this diagram will tell us we can use for healing, for treatment externally or internally for any condition. This is a little bit easier for you to see. It has two different colors. The red color represents for muscular kind of man. The green one, the blue one, okay, the same, but the head a little bit bigger. The hand it can have extra down here, and the feet it can have another one out here. So some because in a body, a female body, it has a part of male and female, the hormone male and female, but the female more predominant than male. So that's why you come out at the form of the female. The same thing in the body of a man. It has some structure, some organ, the same like female. It has the hormone, female and male hormone, but because the male, the masculine is more predominant, so that way they come out with that. So that means, okay, on our face, the reflection, the same thing. So sometimes when the condition is shift to kind of different direction, so we need to adjust that. So we can eat Iron Man and shut down here when I have an ankle pain, but I couldn't find out any point of abnormal. I can move it out a little bit. Or if I had the problem with my wrist, I check it here, I couldn't find out anything wrong. So I may check it back down here, maybe it responds. So that means, okay, we have very flexible system. The same token for women. When they had a problem, they may check it here, but they couldn't find out any wrong here, okay, they can check it up here. So I mean we have the system between yin and yang, between men and women, and we can alternate. And the condition it will change too, continually change when we adjust, when we correct that. Also on the top of our head, it has another reflective system. So that's why you see when we exercise, we usually use the tip of our finger. We rotate. When we rotate, we make the vibration, and that will stimulate and help for all the electron move into that orbit correctly, and look like we hear the bell, the sound of the bell just keep vibrate, and the sound, the way it just going out, expanded. So here when we massage, we create the vibration like a circle from front to the back, from the center to the side, and then we create the vibration, and it will help to clear up all the obstruction in the body. The same thing, this from the head to the neck, to the trunk, but up to the thigh and down here. It has another, see, now the whole body laid on the border of our forehead with the hair. So this is the shoulder, this is the arm, this is the hand, the trunk, the buttstock, thigh, knee, and our feet here. And the whole head and face, throat will appear on our ear. And it has another one. This one, the same. With this one, but we look aside. But this one, different one. Is it? This one, different one. So That's why when we massage our face, we can have totally at least 5 different systems, right? Yin and yang up front, on the top of our forehead, our side, and then also on the top of our head, right? So, and then also before we massage our face, we already massage our palm and our hand. So this is another system. So when we do that, when we massage our face, that means at the same time we stimulate all the system, internal, externally, and from yin to yang, so we regulate it. Simple, but it's very effective. We not only create the vibration, we also create the heat. And when we massage, we create a heat, and that heat will supply more energy for all the electrons to move faster. And the blood will move faster, and it's loose. It not get stick together. All the mucus in there, okay, with the heat come in, it will break it down. So it's easily to kick it out, that get stuck in there.
When we move everywhere, then touch the sort of like painful area, that would mean that somewhere in the body is blocked.
Mm-hmm.
So do I use strength to sort of press it?
Yeah.
Press it more?
Yeah, we can kind of press it, or we can palpate it to make the pressure change. You can hit slow, right? Or you can press, release, so that means you change the pressure.
So normal, if it's a total healthy person like you, when you touch everywhere, there shouldn't be any pain.
Right.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a lot of problems there. What about this one, like hand and all that, if it shows inside,
yeah.
if there's a stiffness inside, that will mean somewhere is blocked in there.
When you first have the obstruction, the blockage of the air or the energy, we usually have the sensation of kind of it bumming, but it's still soft, and the painful experience not severe. And then when it becomes the droplet, it's a little bit more painful. And then when it become kind of the pump or a polyp, okay, at that point, and maybe calcium can be deposit there, maybe on the cell from the immune system come, so that's why it makes it harder, so it blocks the energy more. And when energy is blocked, more the pressure build up higher, so that's why the signal when it's sent up, it rebound, so the force it increase, so we feel painful more.
If you feel tired and de-energized during the day, is this the one that you do?
Yeah, we don't want to wait until the end of the day. We should recognize it as early as possible. Yeah, I mean, okay, whenever, once in a while, definitely, okay, if we can practice mindfulness, we still have to lose our energy through the work, you know, so that's why we still need to do that. But if we not practice mindfulness well, so we have to do it more often like a habit, and that automatically could refresh our energy and clear up our obstruction.
Thank you.
Could you say what's the point on the face for constipation?
Constipation, okay, next one. Alright, so we have many different systems, right? You see, easy. Alright, here now the internal organ. As you see in here, it have the heart will be on our nose, our cheek will be the lung, On the right side, we have the liver. So this is the right side, this is the liver, green color. In that, we have a small one here, that is gallbladder. On the left side, we have a big yellow one, that is stomach. And underneath that, we have the pancreas, right? And the white color, that means the small intestine. The red one, that is large intestine. And this is the bladder. This is the kidney. So, it reflects completely from down here up to our cave. That is one system. So, we know that our large intestine, it goes from the right up, it goes out, cross from the right to the left, and it goes down. So when we have constipation, only one day, we just need to rest our chin only. But when we have more than 2 or 3 days, we need to go the whole, we need to give more pressure and increase the motility of the large intestine. So we go from the index finger, press again our upper lip from the right to the left, and press it down and press it down. So we create longer movement and we give more pressure.
So is here the rectum?
Down here. Look at, let's see. See, if you can eat here, this is the nose, this is the cheek, this is the upper lip, this is the lower lip, this is the chin. So the bottom of the chin will be the anal. See, so we press down completely. And when we have our GI tract on if the digestive system or the elimination system has a problem, we see our chin on where it burn, it pain, it turn pink or red, something like that. But if you look at someone that has a smooth, beautiful chin, you know, okay, the digestive system and elimination system doing a good job. Right? So when we practice every day in the morning, it will help. So this is one system. And the same token, for example, we know we under stress or we have indigestion, we don't feel good to eat, okay, no appetite. So before meal, 10-15 minutes, we can use your index finger, stimulate the left side. That is stimulate the stomach, stimulate the right side, and stimulate the liver and the gallbladder. Or we can do both, 10-15 minutes before meal, and then everything gets ready to secrete the digestive fluid. And by the time when we chew, we give the food in, it mix, get rid right away. See? And if we forgot to do that, and then when we eat, it will feel a little bit heavy, it's not really good, it pain, and then okay, we can do after meal. Okay, after we finish, okay, we can sit, relax, and we can massage, we can stimulate it. Still not too late.
If you've got diarrhea, what do you do?
Diarrhea? Opposite.
Of course.
Because when you do in this way, that means you stimulate the acidity, right? And then you go opposite, that means you revert that. And remember yesterday we were talking about people, okay, have too many urination a day. Yeah. Here again, you see that this is the bladder here. So we can press in that point, stimulate it, so help to improve the tension of the sphincter, that is the valve in the bladder to release the urine. And then we also can stimulate the tip of our eyebrow. This is on the central nervous system, parasympathetic. When we stimulate that, we help to relieve or relax our central nervous system. So when we relax that one, it not stimulate, because when we stimulate, overstimulate, it makes our body urinate more. It also, when we stimulate, okay, the heart will burn up faster, we will go tension and blood pressure right up, etc. So, and we had a problem with sleeping. Okay, same thing, we can stimulate on that, massage the tip of eyebrow. We have another system turned upside down on our forehead. We just examined this one, right? We just examined this one already. Now the other one is turned upside down, up to our forehead. So the same, when we have the problem down here, or sometimes both, sometimes not down, but it's up here. So if when we examine our face before we washing it, okay, we can see. And if we can do that on a daily basis or every other day, you will discover the pinpoint any problem right away. And then, okay, we can start massage, relieve the pressure, get back to the normal balance. And that is, we correct it already. Even though, for example, at this spot, the tip, the bottom of our chin, right? And we see this in this diagram, it will reflect, that means it is responsible for the bladder. It is responsible for the anal. It's also responsible for a toe, right? Big toe. So sometimes some spot, it will reflect for many different systems. And then the question we ask, so how can I know which one and how can I treat that? So simple. The water only goes to the lower point, region, right? Everything in this universe, majority it go by that way. And that is the same token, the same mechanism we use for the synthetic medicine. When we have infection, once in a while you use an antibiotic, you apply right there on topical. But most of the time, we inject or we take orally, right? And the medication just travel all over in our body. But and then it just draw to the side where it has bacteria, where it has a problem only. Right? So, for example, we have upper respiratory tract infection up here. We coughing with the yellow sputum. And we cannot apply the antibiotic or topical here. So we take the oral antibiotic. We take that to the stomach. It goes through the intestine and it travels to the blood, circulate everywhere, and then finally it's drawn to the upper respiratory tract, the throat, right? And during the course of therapy for 10 days or 2 weeks, after 2 days taking medication, and then we get cut too deep, and an infection came in. And then the antibiotic, before it travels and it gets to this side only. But now some of that will go to this side. You see, if that bacteria be covered by that antibiotic, if that antibiotic broad spectrum, it will cover for this side too. And a few days later, and for some reason you have a urinary tract infection, or you have a cut in your toe, again, the medication will go to that side too. You see? So that what we can call many different names. We can call the law of the gravity. We can call it the law of gradient. We can call that the law of attraction. because that side it needs something to treat, so automatically it's draw the antibiotic on the medication, on the nutrition to that side. See, so the same thing in here, that we apply from the nature, that law created by the nature, and we borrow that, we apply that. So when we have a painful spot right there, we don't need to know which system or where the problem. The earlier we discover, the earlier we resolve it. So that's it, done. We just need to listen to our body, find out the correlation, so we can do the prevention in the future. So that's a different story. You see? But for the treatment, we don't need to think about that. You examine it on a daily basis. For every other day, you know something wrong. Okay, so I give the energy, I massage, I send in a good hot soup energy to that, and automatically it will resolve. The sooner the better. But if you don't practice, listen to your body, you don't reflect on what caused that or what organ had that problem, you may repeat the mistake again. You see, for example, if we have the pain under our eye, and then sometimes we expose to the cold weather, we cough. So we think, okay, this is the lung area, so I may have an upper respiratory tract infection. If I cough and I see the yellow sputum, so, and then I massage that. But sometimes the sputum is coming out normal. It's just a little bit more sticky, but it's not yellow. And then you have a period. It's not irregular. It may pain in here too. And then you stay up too late. You wake up late. You mess up the circadian rhythm. Okay, this is turn purple or blue purple, right? And it pain. So at the same spot, it responds to many different ones. You don't know that because you exposed to the cold weather, you talk too much, you have coughing, or because you're having the period, or maybe you stay too late. But if you reflect on that and you listen to your body, okay, and maybe because I late for a few days, so the pressure build up, or maybe if my period is normal, it's not irregular. Okay, so maybe because I just stay late for the last few days. Okay, so we know that, so we can prevent in the future. And if we can listen to our body carefully, slowly, we will recognize the correlation. Sometimes easy, straightforward, but most of the time, it's not easy. That's why we need the professional, right? That's why we need to examine it on a daily basis or every other day so we can discover it as soon as possible. If we live longer, it will be more complicated and many organs get involved, many different conditions, many other factors get involved in that. If we eat simply, if we live simply, the sign symptom is straightforward. But unfortunately, we don't do that. We try to eat too many different ones, and we try to mix too many things. We try to live too complicated. So that's why the structure of the bacteria, the mechanism of action interfere with that all is too complicated. Cause effect. It's very clear, it's very common sense. So again, if we examine it on a daily basis, it not take long. And when you make it a habit, it's easy. When you wash your face, just pay attention closely. When you massage your face, you know where we had a problem. Okay, we just massage, and after that, we contemplate, see what happened the last day. Alright, you can recognize, and we keep that record. Next day, it happens, see any improvement or any increased severity. And you are the best doctor for your own. Because the doctor can diagnose based on his experience, based on the common data from the whole. But it's not for individual, right? Unless the people have a capacity okay, to listen through the energy, and they can be at one with the patient. You see that what the difference between the diagnosis between the West and the East. In the East, okay, I can put people can look at the pole. They may question a few questions and they look at your face and they know what happened 5-10 years ago. Maybe you forgot already. But the doctor will tell you, oh my goodness, how can he know? See? But the West, okay, they look at the sign symptom on the superficial only, and they cannot look at the underlying. And the longer you live there, the more complicated. So you are your own doctor, better. And if you can do that for yourself, you have experience and you can help other people better.
When sometimes the face come up with like pimple, does it mean that inside is just collect too much poison that it comes out?
Depend on the size, depend on the type, depend on the condition. For example, if you are in the teen, right? You are on the teen, okay, so the hormone and some fatty acid, it cannot convert. And then, okay, bacteria, okay, invade, use that one. So that's normal, but sometimes it becomes abnormal. If you are not in that realm, okay, if you eat any fast, a lot, too much fast, or the fat bit you cook incorrectly, so it be deformed, it be sticky, so our body cannot digest that, cannot eliminate that, so it will put it out right away. And usually it have a correlation to the organ. Usually when we have that around this area or around this area, we call that the digestive system. If it's not down here, it goes up here, right? Or sometimes we eat too much spicy stuff. The heat dry up in our body, so that is a way to release heat too.
Do you say which part of the face is the central nervous system?
Central nervous system? Central nervous system usually are everywhere, but more concentrate on the forehead, eyebrow. Let's see. You see, when it here we see the head concentrate in this area, and then the eyebrow. And this is the productive organ for men and for women. So you see, when women have irregular period, usually we feel pain, so we can massage or press on the upper lip in this area. When we want to prevent pregnancy, okay, we can massage the nose and the eyebrow. And you see, when you stay late, when you have an irregular period, it also makes the lower lips, right? It turns purple or it's like puffy. The same thing for men. When men have the problem with benign protein hypertrophy, okay, the eye it will kind of puffy, and also the nose it kind of had a problem with pain. So look at that. I have some patient in Germany. He's a doctor, or his friend doctor. You know, the PSA too high in the problem, and his face have that, but he cannot relate that, and nobody can explain it to him. And when I said, "Oh my goodness, how can you know that?" I treat for myself, but I could not make any correlation, and nobody can explain that. All right, so that's on the face, on the top of our head. And now to one more. You see our ear, another system. Again, all the major organ will be kept inside. The head has to down here, inside. The screw there, the heart, in deep inside. So all the major organ, it has to keep in here. And then this is exactly like a baby laid out in the womb of the mother. So when we have any chronic disease, when we have a very low energy in the cold weather, we can, that's why you can see I usually rub the ear and pull it down, because this area, the baby is laid down with the birth stop, this is the trunk, and this is the head. So the energy complex here, right? So that's why okay, we pull it down. So it will take energy from the energy complex go along the spinal cord down to the head and the brain. It also look in general, the ear is similar to the shape of the kidney. So our kidney again play many important roles in the energy, in the filtration, in the detoxification. So massage or stimulate the point on our ear will help to improve not only the kidney but the whole body in general. Especially in the cold weather, we have some point along the outer ear. This is the heat center. Why when we rub that, we feel hot, right? Because the heat in the body dry up. When we rub our outer ear, we feel our body turn the heat on, so it's hot, warm. On the tip of that, it has the point for allergy. So what we want to prevent for the allergy, or we want to treat for allergy, we can stimulate that point awfully. Alright, so that is another system. At night, before we go to bed, we massage our feet, because the whole day we stand, we walk, okay, on the pressure our body, and with the gravity force, okay, it pull out everything on our feet. So it block. That's why you see in the old time, okay, we used to walk on our barefoot. It will stimulate on the point down here. But now too comfortable, okay, we wear on the footwear. And we try to stay away from the nature, so no one massage us, and no way you can relieve the pressure, the toxin out. But before we go to bed, we should massage on the top, on the ankle and the bottom, okay, and also the tip of the toe. It's similar to the palm on the major organ. It's in the arch, and on the spinal is a very important axis. It has to keep inside, not outside, so it can be protected more. And the tip of the toe, like the finger on the side of the brain here. So we massage for that, especially people overweight, people with diabetes. We need to take care more carefully, because it's very important. When people with diabetes, but we have extra sugar, that means extra energy, extra food for the bacteria to have a body. Secondly, our nervous system weak, blunt, we have no feeling, right? And then third, the protective layer, barrier is very weak. Immune system of the diabetic patient is very weak. So when we wear a very tight shoe, when we have a fingernail cut, or when we have any object injure our feet, because our nervous system is blunt, so it's not very sensitive to discover that. And then also because we had a whole bunch of extra energy, the sugar, so we invite the bacteria to come in to have a party. But unfortunately, the sodium, the immune system to protect our feet, not there, or don't have enough strength to fight back. So all the bacteria just grow up too quick, very, very quick, because no one fight back, and the supply fully. So it grows too quick, and then it gets deep inside the muscle and inside the bone, and it travel up. Usually we had an infection, we have an injury down here, just below the ankle. But because this one is too close, or sometimes we had just in the middle of the joint, so it can travel up to the knee. So when we not examine on a daily basis, by the time when we find out it's too late, because all the bacteria get inside the muscle or inside the bone already. So with normal people, we can cut right there. We can use antibiotic, strong, potent antibiotic to treat it. But again, unfortunately for diabetic patients, the immune system is very weak, and the supply of the sugar is too high, so the bacteria grow too fast, and it just travel real quick until it is stopped by the joint. That's why I see for the diabetic patient usually amputate. That is the only way to treat. Bacteria grow too fast, it moves very fast. So no way we can stop it right away if we not discover it early or on time. So before bedtime we should massage. If we can have the warm water, at least we soak in that for about 10, 15, 20 minutes and massage and go to bed. So you will have a wonderful, peaceful night. And when we massage, that means okay, we have to open the gate, so all the toxin going out and the bad energy going out. And when we lay down, we relax more, okay, all that will be pushing out. And then early in the morning, the new energy will come in to recharge our body. So if we can do that every day, every other day, it will be good for our body, not only to detox, it's also to recharge our body fully. So if we can have a fully charged, next day we will have enough or extra energy to work for the new day.